Okay, here we go. Hey people, how's everybody getting on? Welcome to episode 4 of The Paradigm Shift with your host Tunji. And today I'm joined by my brother once again, due to popular demand, Wally. How are you doing, boy?
Yo.
How's your week been?
That's same as you know what I mean, just average, not really too crazy,
Yeah,
you know.
that's good. Yeah, so we're here again. As you know, um, the last episode was actually really good, in my opinion. I seen a lot of traction on the Instagram stuff like that. People are really receptive to the videos. Listen to it, said that it made a lot of sense. So I thought I'd get you on again. So like usually we're gonna have a lot more people with on the podcast in terms of educating, in terms of business, real estate, and some other areas. So I just thought that right now, we get it started, so it's good. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So my week was good as well. Once again, I don't know if it was announced that I started a new job. Still an engineer, um, but I'm working at Intel in Leak Slip right now, and I also have a boxing match tomorrow. So we're recording this on the Saturday. You guys are gonna hear this on the next Friday. So we have a boxing match tomorrow. This is going to be the National Irish Championships, so it's going to be a fairly big fight. I'm excited for it. I feel ready for it. I feel sharp. Mind is clear. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see how I get on. Um, the other two fights that I had a few weeks ago, my first 2 hour fights. If anybody that's listening is interested in watching those fights, uh, DM me or text me or whatever. Get onto me and I'll send you a private link that you can privately watch the video because I'm not going to share it on social media. That's not what I do. So I did fairly well in the both fights. The first fight I did really well. The second fight I think I still did really well. I lost by decision. No, not decision by stoppage. The ref stopped the fight, but in my opinion, he stopped it a bit early. Wally, you disagree. You said you think the ref might have stopped it well, but I guess everyone can be the judge by watching the video. So tomorrow I'm fighting somebody from, I don't know what the boxing gym's called, but it doesn't really matter. I'm ready for anybody. So it's just a different mentality that you have when you're doing like a sport. Funny enough, Wally's actually the one that got me into boxing, to actually join a gym and take it serious, and he's the one now that's I'm trying to get to start back again. So, what's your excuse?
At the moment, it's probably just finances really to start back again. But
Yeah.
I'm out with another guy though that used to do boxing with me in Central there earlier on, and he said that he can't go anymore because he has no lift. But
Mm.
now, like the fact that I'm in Dunleer as well, and he's in Dunleer, like because he used to live in where did he used to live? I think he used to live in like Claw or something like that, but now he lives in Dunleer.
Mm.
So there's no way of him actually making it out there. But then if I
Yeah.
start again, I could bring him and I could probably bring one of my other neighbors as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it'd be
But
good to be honest.
I don't really want to be charging the fuel money. So I was like, I better just get my own kind of finances correctly
Yeah.
because it's like to be driving up and there every week. That's like pretty much for me driving up and down to college again in that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the kilometers are gonna run up and more fuel costs and this, that,
Yeah.
whatever. So I need to be
Yeah.
careful with that.
I hear that. Anyway, it'll be good because I just really think you'd be a good fighter, man, and you know it yourself as well. Like I can just see it. The speed and the power, the explosiveness, it's all there. We all have it in our genes. So I think I need a bit of help in the super heavyweight division. Funny enough, I don't look like a super heavyweight. That's the craziest part because these guys are like
There's
usually.
actually just one guy though that I know. He used to go to he goes to the Dunleer gym the odd time, but it's like when you see this guy, there's actually two guys. One that goes DKT gym, another one that goes to this Dunleer one or DKT one as well, and he only weighs like 90 kg, and he's like pretty much the same size as me, same height, same size, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
I know. I can't. It
And
doesn't.
and
Yeah.
then there's another guy who's 98 kilos who's taller than me and bigger than me, and he's
Mm,
98 kilos, and I'm 114.
mm.
And I'm kind of thinking, right, I'm not that fat either, so it's like it's either my bones or organs are just heavier. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else I can think of. Like maybe you just have tiny organs, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because it's like there's no way I'm an extra 16 kilos heavier than you, and
Mm,
you're the same size as me, you know?
mm.
Or is it bone density, muscle density,
Like it has to. It's one
liver,
of those
heart,
things.
you
I
know?
think. I think our organs are just really heavy. I think
Mm.
that's the thing. But after going back, actually, after the competition that I had, this is another paradigm shift, and it kind of ties into um, the topic of today, right? So after the competition that I had, where I had the two fights, right, on the Sunday, I lost the fight, but I was really annoyed because I thought that like there was only a minute left, but the referee stopped the fight early, and I was really, really, really like I really wanted to win because there was seven of us in my boxing gym that entered the competition. All seven of us got to the final, but by the end of it, I think we only took home four gold. Yeah, four gold, three silver, which is still really good to be honest with you. That's more than every other gym that was there except for one. And the only people that were ahead of us was actually the army's team. So that was a fairly big accomplishment if you ask me. And yeah, so after that happened, we went outside and it's time for us to go home now. Took pictures, all this stuff. We're about to leave. I was literally reversing out. This guy was asking me, "Hey, do you want to try and are you leaving?" And I said, "Yeah." I pointed with my finger like this to him, and I was getting out, but I had to reverse back in again so I could drive straight again. And what happened was, as I was reversing, he didn't even look to see if I was still there, and he reversed right into my car. Boom, and I could hear the big bang, and I said, "Oh my days, what are the odds of this?" Like, he literally just crashed into my car, hopped out. Yeah, I was fuming. I said, "What the heck?" I looked at the back. It was he scratched the car and then he left like a dent in the car. So I'm just like, "Oh my days, man." So irritated. And I was too irritated to do anything. So the guy that I was giving a lift home to, I said, just get his details and take a picture. And I just hopped back in the car again because I'm just like, it's either I'm gonna lay hands on somebody or I'm gonna start making a scene here. So I just said, let me just get into the car before I make a scene. And so that happened. And then we got into the car, and now it's time for us to get home, right? So that's one thing that happened. So number one, I lost my fight, right? And I thought that the ref stopped the fight early, right? Number two is that someone crashed into my car just as I'm leaving the venue to go back home again. It's a 2.5 hour drive. Someone crashed into the back of my car. And it turns out this guy was actually Portuguese. So it's a rented car, right? So that's number two. Then number three, I'm driving home, right? And I see such a, like, to be honest, this is my own stupidity, but I seen such a lovely road. Like if you saw that road, there's no way anybody can tell me. But this is why a police officer was actually he was on that road because they probably know this is a road that people speed on. This road looked so perfect, and I said, I have to test out the car speed here. Surely I have to test it out. And as I'm coming, right, I hit my top speed, but I can see really far because I have good eyesight. I saw someone like this, and then he ran into his car afterwards, and then I'm just like, slow down, all the way down to 80. Drove past him, kept driving, kept driving, kept driving. I'm like, oh. Then I saw the sirens go off. Police officer pulled me over. He said, "Do you know what this road is? Do you know what this road is? Do you know what speed you were doing?" And I said, "No, sorry, officer, I don't know what speed." He said, "What speed did you think you were doing?" I said, "I think I was doing about 120." He said, "And you know, what's the speed limit of this road?" I said, "I think it's 120." And he was like, "No, no, think again." I said, 100. And then he said, "Yeah, it's 100. Now, you were going 165 on 100 road, right?" And he said, "I should be arresting you right now. Can you please tell me why you were driving so fast?" And I said, "To be honest with you, I'm not going to sit here and give you any excuses. So I'm just not going to say anything. Just, if you have to do, you just do what you have to do. Because if I tell you, you won't really believe me. But they said, no, go on, just try me anyway. And I said, well, as you can see around my neck, I came second place in this boxing tournament, right? I lost. So I'm fairly upset about that, and I just want to get home. Um, and oh yeah, and somebody crashed into my car, hit the back of my car as I was leaving the venue. Those, like, what are the odds that, you know what I mean? A police officer is going to ask you those things.
Mm.
So I said to him, yeah, like that's really it. I just want to get home. And then the guy that was sitting beside me was like, here, like I told him to slow down a bit, but he's just a bit upset. He just wants to be at home with his wife, ABC and D. And then the police officer he was a cheeky. He was, the countryside cheeky. Like he was basically slagging me over and over again for losing.
Mm.
Like he's just slagging me, and he was just like, I should be arresting you right now. So he took my license, went into his car, sat there for like 5, 10 minutes just in his car. And I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing? Is he running my record or something? I don't know. He came back and he said, listen, I'm not going to arrest you. I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to give you a fine. I'm going to give you a fine. I'm going to give you 2 penalty points for speeding because I understand what you're going through, and it must be a tough thing to be going through, right? I said, yeah, okay, no problem, officer. Thank you so much. A, B, C, and D. And then we left it at that and we drove back home again and I stayed on the speed limit. And after I got past that area, every car around me, Wally, was going like 140, 150, flying past me. Yo, yo, yo. Nobody's being stopped. And I'm just like, what are the odds of these three things happening? Lost, crashed, someone crashed into me, now stopped by the police, fined, and given penalty points all at once. And the guy that was sitting beside me couldn't believe that I was just so calm about everything that was going on because all I could do was laugh. All I could do was laugh. And it's like a coping mechanism at this stage, right?
Mm.
When you're going through stuff that's like really tough, all somebody can actually do is just laugh at the situation that you're going through. And that was like a thing that I was realizing, right? If it doesn't matter what is going on outside of you, as long as you don't give what happens outside of you the power, yeah, if you don't give it the power, then it can't do anything. It doesn't have a hold over you. Do you know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
that's when I realized I said, yeah, no, this scenario doesn't have a hold over me, and I didn't give it the power to affect me in that way. So I said, yeah, I'm not going to get upset. And to be honest with you, that actually takes a serious level of mental strength. Think about the mental strength that would be needed to not get really irritated and annoyed at all those things happening back to back to back. That would be enough to mess up anybody's day. But all I could do was laugh and just continue my day. I said, yeah, no, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here feeling sorry for myself. And that's the thing, right? Because if like that kind of stuff happens to people, where things will be happening in their life and they think that they're the only ones that these things are happening to, when in reality, like bad stuff happens to people all the time. Probably should have did this before we started recording. Here we go. Bad stuff happens to people all the time, right? So it's almost like when bad things happen to good people. And then I realized when bad things happen to good people, right? You never know if you're a good person if bad things don't happen to you because you can only appreciate the good times after you've come out of seasons that were bad. You can only experience joy once you've experienced sorrow. You can only experience excitement when you've experienced anxiety, you know? And that's when I realized that those things there were so important for your mentality and just to build um what's the word? Like you basically have to callous your mind. David Goggins always says that type of stuff. You have to build calluses in your mind to where when tough things happen, it's just like you can just accept a tough thing and just brush it off like it's nothing, you know? What do you think about that?
Oh no, David Goggins. He's just another level completely of
Different, man,
like this
different.
like this guy does the same routine Monday through Sunday,
Yep.
I'm all for pushing yourself. I'm all for it, but come here to me. Sometimes I just want to relax and eat a kebab and just sit down. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
100%.
But him, no. It's wake up, train. Later on today, train. Later on that day again, train again.
Mm.
Go to bed. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Your legs are sore. Do. You still go and all that stuff. That's and I even wanted to ask you about the speeding thing. Like, if you had said you were speeding by accident, I would completely understand because it happened to me before. But
Yeah.
like, you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanted to
Because
test the speed of the
because
car.
that's why I think you ended up getting caught because it was even this one time actually. I was going to pick up our sister from work, and I'm going on the motorway, and then I look down, and I think I'm going like 165. And I'm like, I didn't even know. But then I said, let me just see how fast I can go anyway. I got up to 180 and I'm like, right, you know what? I'm going to stop now. And I quickly stopped.
Yeah.
I went back into the slow lane again because it was accidental. I didn't know I was going that fast
Yeah.
until I looked down. And I'm like, well, I'm already going this fast. Let me just bump it up a notch. You know what I mean? But for some weird reason, even though I'm going that fast, there's still people, right
Yeah,
past me.
it's
So I
mad,
was like,
isn't it?
if I'm going 170 and you're overtaking me, you're at least going 190, 200,
Yeah.
you know? And when you're like, I was in a car once when someone did 200 kilometers. It is the scariest thing ever.
Yeah.
Scariest. The car was like shaking and everything. And like the
Yeah,
car,
because
it
it's you're
did
going so
not,
fast that you're about to take off.
you know what I mean? It did not want to go that fast
Just like an
whatsoever.
airplane.
you know.
Oh
But
man.
I think when that happened to you consecutively, like, right, fair enough. The box losing the box match wasn't really your fault. The crash of the car wasn't really your fault. The speed was your own fault.
Yeah.
So it's like technically only two bad things happened to you because the
Hmm.
speeding, you kind of had time to think about. Remember with the past, right? I got caught doing this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but the other things were just completely out of your control. But
Yeah.
it's only the speed one that was in your control.
Mm.
But what I would say though, when that sort of stuff happens, like you said, laughing, that's exactly what I do as well. When the
Yeah.
pressure gets so much, you can only laugh.
Yeah.
Like you even see it when when some of them animes where like this person watched their parents die or their best friend and they just start laughing.
Yeah.
Like there was even this one Attack on Titan, there was even one
Mm.
episode when Aaron just started laughing to himself.
Hmm.
And then everyone was kinda like, what's going on with him?
What could you be
It's
laughing at?
you know what I mean? He's seen so much messed up stuff. It's like he just starts laughing.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't know why he's laughing. It seems sadistic. It's not really sadistic. It's just just the kind of because you've cried so much or like you were sad so much, and then you just had to kind of change the emotion to kind of like somehow feel happy from it. You know,
Yeah.
because if you just took all that into anger, oh my days, you would eat that person's head off, that person's head off. Someone calls you on the phone, you'd be saying this, you'd be saying, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It would just kind of have a ricochet effect in your life then, just in
100%.
them three scenarios that happen in your life. But the fact that you started laughing about it was even better off because if you hadn't have took that action, even the person beside you could have said something wrong and you just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
100%. And that's one of the reasons why, excuse me. That's one of the reasons why I've realized that, you know, stoicism really is like it's a way of life.
what is
To
what
where
is stoicism? Is that just not caring about anything or what's the crack?
it's not really not caring about anything. It's that you can't control anything outside of yourself. You can't control what has happened to you, but you can control how you react to what has happened to you. You can't
Mm,
control how someone treats you, but you can control how you feel about someone doing something. You can't
mm,
control like anything outside of yourself, right? You can't stop that girl from doing what she wants. You can't make that girl fall in love with you. You can't make this job hire you. You can't make this job keep you. You can't make this group of people like you. You can't make these people say that you should be famous. You can't make all of these things happen, right?
you just
But
have to
all you
accept
can
reality.
control is your own your own space to where I read a book called meditation no, not meditations, it was the life of Seneca, right? Seneca was a stoic back in ancient Rome, right? And he, well, not a stoic, because stoicism wasn't even the word that back then. It was he was just a philosopher, right? But he said that we're all mental patients in the same mental home, right? But you know, at least, but the difference between him and other people is that he realizes he's just a patient rather than thinking he's the doctor or something like that. We're all in this thing together. Nobody actually has all the answers, right? As much as you might think that you're so smart and stuff like this, you might know everything, you don't know anything. But all you can control is the things that are in your own environment, which is you can control how, if you were going to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to tackle this day, the first bad thing that happens, it ruins your whole day, and then your whole day goes downhill, right? Or you can wake up and say, I'm ready for the date. I'm good, probably most likely going to meet an a-hole. I'm most likely going to meet somebody that's going to A, B, C, and D. So then you expect those things to happen. And when it does happen, it's like, yeah, well, I saw this coming, you know. But instead of people saying, oh, all I think is positivity and stuff like that, that's fine. But if you think that only positive things are going to happen in your everyday, that's unrealistic, you know. But if you choose to stay positive in the midst of all those things, that's a more realistic thing to do, right? So it's basically keeping your environment and understanding it and understanding yourself on top of all of that. He was um he was a philosopher. Same with Marcus Aurelius. Same with who else was there? Was another, anyway, I can't remember. There was another philosopher, but you know, his main thing was there'll be three different men. All right, there'll be a man that owns slaves, right, and he'll be wealthy. Then there'll be a man that goes to war and stuff like that. Then there's just a regular man that's a farmer, right? All three of them have different environments around them, right? And let's just say if the man in the army has been captured and they say to him, okay, yeah, so now you've been captured, we're going to cut your arm off. He says, well, okay, no problem. They cut his arm off. They're trying to break him mentally, right? Then they're trying to take everything from this man. So they chop his arm off. He's unfazed. He's still not willing to crack. Chop his leg off. Still not willing to crack. They kill his family right in front of him. Still isn't willing to crack. So then they said, what is wrong with this man? What is wrong with him? And he said, listen, there's nothing you can take from me that I don't already have within myself. You might have taken my family, you might have killed them, you might have taken my limbs and stuff like that, but at least I have my mind. And when I have my mind, if you can't take that from me, that's the most valuable thing that anybody has, which is your mind and the way you think and what you think, you know?
That
So when you think,
seems a bit would it be selfish? Could you call it selfish in a sense? Because
oh,
like I can completely understand the part where they chop his arm off and he's not gonna break. Because come here to me, if you chop my arm off and my leg off, well, I may as well not break now because I'm missing an arm and a leg, you
hmm
know. So I may as well just die at that point because I'm missing limbs already. But like to be killing the family and just watching it happen one by one by one,
hmm
and you're kind of just yeah, but you can't. You see, like, do you see what I mean? Like it's
no, no, trust me, I completely hear exactly what you're saying,
mm,
but that's not in his control. He can't do anything.
fair enough.
The
If you
whole
if you're
point of it is
missing
that
an
he
arm and a
can't
leg,
do anything about it. Like,
mm,
because he's been captured. It's not like he can just escape and save them.
mm,
He can't do anything.
because
So the only thing
they're
that
gonna kill them anyway.
exactly
Once they get the answers.
that they can actually take from him is his mind, and they want that, but they can't get it because it's either you kill me, but if you kill me, you lost. Like imagine that. Imagine, do you ever see those people that like the people that I always used to hate picking on back in the day were the guys that after I beat them up, they would still continue to talk rubbish because to me they're winning because I'm getting irritated now, right? And you're still talking. You've gotten beaten up. You're on the
Mm,
floor, you know, and you're still talking. That person wins because you haven't gotten them mentally, you haven't broken them mentally to where they're like,
Mm.
please stop. No, it's yeah, is that all you have? Is that
And
all
you're
you
kind
can
of like,
do?
that's what I'm saying. You'd lose the motivation to even hurt them anymore.
Exactly,
You
because
would
you
lose the
know you
motivation
can't,
completely.
and that's
You
the
know?
thing. Somebody that you can't break mentally, you can't break that person, period. Doesn't matter what you do to them. If you have a strong mind, there's nothing that anyone can actually do to make you break. A strong mind in this world, but that's the thing, weak-minded people are everywhere in abundance. Weak-minded people would quit something before even starting because they're scared somebody would judge them or somebody might have laughed at them. Just imagine if they made a YouTube channel, nobody knew about it. Like, like prime example. When I was in college, right? I came into one of my class. I was like the last person to come into the class. I was a bit late. As soon as I walked in, right, there was a projector in the class, and the wall is massive. It's probably 70 inches wide, maybe even more. And when I walk in, the whole class is there, and even the part-time class is there. The part-time that did the course was there as well. I look at the screen and there's my old podcast playing on the show on the screen. Everybody's just laughing at me when I walk in. Right there, that would be enough to stop people from actually
No,
continuing.
no, but what I don't understand, right? For the person who even put that up, what were they realistically trying to achieve? Because think about it, right? If you retaliated in anger, I'm only joking. If you retaliated in sadness, I'm only joking. See, like, do you see what I mean? And then this is when, if you don't retaliate at all, if you just look at them, haha, and sit down to be like,
Hmm.
right, this guy didn't really retaliate. Now I look like a clown
Yeah,
because I tried to make fun of him. But that's just the
yeah,
one thing I don't understand. Like, because I've met some of the people in my life, like they go out of the like that's going up and beyond. Standing up, going to a computer, searching up Tunji's pod, searching for the video, waiting for him to come in, clicking now, and trying to watch your react. Like, what were you trying to gain? You know.
yeah.
Like,
No,
what did you try
like
and gain? And that starts to just, I don't know, makes my skin crawl. It just irritates me, you know? It just irritates because it's like, it's just so pointless because I've seen them people in my lifetime,
yeah,
you know? They do these small things to kind of like make funny out or break. And like, if you just don't retaliate or if you laugh about it with them, it makes them look stupid, you
and
know?
that's exactly what I had to do.
You know?
I couldn't because even though I was feeling embarrassed inside at the time, what I did was because if I would have went up and went on the computer and tried and turn it off, right, then it would have made it worse, and then it would have continued. So what I did was I went up and I turned the volume up. I said, the people in the back probably can't hear. So I turned the volume up. This will change your life, lads, yeah? I sat down there and I started watching it with them. So straight after that, they turned it off and put something else on. Straight away.
There you go.
But do you know what I'm saying? It's
Because you
little
didn't
things like
retaliate.
that. Yeah, but think about it though. That would have been enough to make somebody stop doing something.
Oh, yeah.
Someone might
100%.
have been laughed at. Oh, you make YouTube videos. Be quiet. And then people would laugh. Then they'd stop because they'd be embarrassed. They'd be scared of people judging them for that. Do you understand?
Mm.
So
No,
imagine
no.
feeling that.
That's what I'm saying. It's a very scary. I think when people make fun of you, it's a very scary sort of thing because there was even this one thing I heard in class. I'm not gonna name the person. Actually, I barely even know the person's name, but when I heard it, it kind of hurt my heart a little bit from the person who they were making fun of.
Mm,
But even at the start, I was always thinking how gossiping isn't really gossiping isn't too bad. But then when I heard this, it kind of hit me stomach, hit a nerve, you know, when the person said oh yeah, this person was in such and such course, right, in
mhm.
college. And then they said, guess what they're doing now? Oh yeah, they're working full time in a coffee shop, right? And then when I heard that, and they were all laughing about it, making fun of the individual, and I'm kind of like, damn, like these, like, oh no, it was just when I heard it, it's like I really seen what gossiping or like making fun of people is really really like. Because see if the person who is working in a coffee shop and heard that, God only knows what they do. They'd either go back to college or they do some other harm to themselves, or
It
see,
feels they'd
you
feel
know what I
so
mean?
bad about it.
They'd
Yeah,
feel so bad, like to the point where it's like, but they were saying it behind the person's back now. If they
yeah,
said it to their face, that'd even be worse, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
And then the fact that you retaliated good, not all people would do that. So this
Exactly.
person here would probably quit that job, delete social media, and just probably be depressed for a while, and
Yeah.
they could end up going back to college just to prove a point to them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
No, I can actually go back. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when I ended up hearing that, it's like you really see what happens when you sort of make fun of people in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's what
Totally.
and that's exactly what happened to you that day, you know.
Yeah. And that's
Though,
when. Oh, go on.
oh no, no, yeah.
And that's when people do those things, and that's when I realized self-esteem is actually probably one of the most important things that a human being can have. If someone has bad self-esteem, people slagging them or laughing at them for doing something that they themselves would even be scared to do, that's what would make them stop doing something, right? If you wanted to make a YouTube channel and people are just like, oh my gosh, what a clown. Why would you make YouTube? That is so weird. That's so crazy. That's such a childish thing to do. If you have low self esteem, that's enough to make you not make that YouTube channel that you've always wanted to do because you're inspired by the YouTubers that you watch. If you have high self esteem, you don't care what they have to say because you know yourself that they wouldn't be willing to do that either themselves. They wouldn't be willing to take that step to make something happen like that for themselves. So improving self-esteem is actually probably the biggest thing that people could potentially do
Mm,
for their lives. That will self-esteem is such like I think it's actually not spoken about enough. We talk about self-confidence, but where does self-confidence come from? Comes from. It comes from self-esteem. You need to believe that you can do something, you know. You need to believe that you can actually achieve something. Confidence comes from doing something successfully over a period of time. So then you're getting confident because you know you can do something repeatedly over a period of time. You're confident in a certain area. But self-esteem is all rounded. If you don't know something, it's not going to affect you because you have high self-esteem. Okay, I don't know it right now, but I have the ability to learn, you
mm,
know? Okay, I can't do this right now. I'm not the best at that. Instead of saying, no, I can do that, but then not being able to do it and then being found out to be like a fraud. Self
mm.
esteem is one of the key things that a human needs in order to do things and to go and to travel in uncharted waters. That's the word. Self esteem is what enables us to chart in uncharted waters. Waters that would seem out of bounds, waters that would seem like you can't do it. Self esteem would let you know that you can do it and you have the ability to do so. It's very important.
And do you see with the self-esteem sort of part? What do you think that would what do you think would happen if, for example, let's just say someone had low self-esteem and obviously people got a whiff of that and then they started making fun of them, right?
Hmm.
But let's just say that person with so low self-esteem retaliates, you know?
Hmm.
Do you think that puts them in a better or worse situation? And I'll explain this like a small little scenario before you answer. It
Mm.
was this person started calling me nigger, 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 oh, like for ages, right?
Hmm.
And then I said, well, this is a while ago. I said, shut the F up, you kiss, man, you're gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this person got so angry,
Yeah.
like so angry. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You're making fun of me. Well, I'm born black. I can't change this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say something to you. I say one thing to you, and you get more mad. See what I mean? So
Yeah.
the person with low self-esteem is making fun of the person with low self-esteem, but that person is just in like a worse position, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
because they can kind of give it but can't take it back.
Yeah. And it's funny because they were trying to come at a place to you at a place of like, yeah, look at me. At least I'm not black. I'm more superior because I'm not black. You
Mm,
know, I'm more superior than you are. So they're trying to have like a higher ground. And the thing about self-esteem is it's your confidence in your own self-worth or your own abilities. This person might have not had any self-worth. So they're trying to give themselves self-worth. I'm white, you're black, I'm superior. But then you crack down on that because it's like, no, you're not superior because A, B, C, and D. Then that person's getting angry because they don't have any confidence in themselves at all. They're trying to force confidence upon themselves. And that's the difference. They're trying to force themselves to be confident. You can't force yourself to be confident in something. You
It
can't
just has to
force it.
be natural.
Do you know what I'm saying? It happens naturally because you know you believe in your own abilities. That's what self-esteem is. You have belief in your own abilities, and you know um, it's the beliefs about yourself that you have about yourself. To where if you don't know something, you'll ask for help.
Mm.
If you're going through something, you'll ask for help. You're not too ashamed to ask for help. That's like self-esteem. I have confidence in my own abilities. This person probably doesn't have any confidence in every area. So slagging other people, putting other people down, is trying to make them feel
Better.
more superior in their
Mm.
own way. So I can guarantee that's what that happened there.
All right.
You know. But yeah. Anyway, another thing that I was thinking about was walking around and seeing a lot of men. We did speak about this earlier. Um, Seeing other men, Wally, right? Why do people just look like they're lacking confidence or something like that? It's like men
See,
seem less like masculine now. And I don't know, I can't put my finger on it exactly, but my there's something in me that's saying that these men are a bit weird now, right? In terms of they can't look you in the eye when they're talking to you anymore. You know, they don't stand up straight with their chest out. People are hunched over looking downward, you know, and when they see you, they look away like they're
that actually
like
happened to me. When do you remember when I went Comic Con?
yeah,
When I went to Comic Con, I kid you not. The boys that were with me, yeah, they said that them people that probably thought you were gonna beat them up or something like that, right? There was this big group of people, right? And I wanted to just go have a normal conversation. And then they were, you know what I mean? Like terrified, as if they seen a
yeah,
ghost or something like that.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because I was wearing a tank top, six
yeah.
string, just randomly walking up to you. Because I think they were, Berserk, the anime,
Mm,
had a big sword or something like that. I just wanted to go ask them some questions about it. And then when I was
sick.
talking to them, they were kind of like it just, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like so
And
nervous,
I was like, I'm making these guys a bit too, you know what I mean? And I
feeling
said, right,
uncomfortable.
and I just went off, I went off my
Yeah,
day. But it's like, when I went to like, I think a lot of the times it's because a lot of people lack muscle. I kid you not. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. You give some scrawny skinny guy a good chunk of muscle, I can guarantee he'd be pumping it. And some people give him compliments. He'll be pumping his chest out all day. You know what I
mm,
mean? Self confidence will just be oozing out of him. You
mm,
know. I think a lot of the times it's because either A, nobody trains, B, it's sometimes to do with childhood memories for some people. Like, let's just say, I don't know, they had like a bad breakup, or I don't know, the friends made fun of them, for example. The friends made fun of them and started slagging them, and then that just kind of get their confidence down, 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 down. You know, or even what's another reason? So it could be, yeah, it could be childhood memories. It could just be naturally, like you're just naturally like low confidence.
mm,
But even for me, I used to have really low confidence. Like when I was talking, like, but for some reason though, it's like I do agree with the eye contact that you said earlier, that you need to be looking people in the eye and stuff. It's just sometimes I just forget to look people in the eye. Like
mm,
when I'm because I even forgot to tell you that thing. For some weird reason, see when I look people in the eye,
mm,
they feel very uncomfortable. Even my lecturer in college,
mm.
everyone else was looking him in the eye, but then when I started looking her in the eye, she was kind of like, you know what I mean? You're being serious, because I was
Yeah,
just, you know what I mean, zoned in,
yeah,
listening to what she had to say, and I was kind of making her feel a bit uncomfortable in a sense,
yeah,
you know. So I
yeah.
think with me personally, I just have that sort of look on me that I can't. Because when I look someone in the eye and I'm looking at it for a solid minute or two, they start feeling a little bit uncomfortable, you
Yeah.
know? So that's why when I'm looking at someone, I kind of look away for a little bit, look
Yeah.
back again, look away for a little bit, look
Yeah.
back
No,
again. You
that's
know what I
that's
mean?
that's fine, 100%. Like
Yeah.
you can't just stare, and then if you
Oh,
don't blink, it'll make them even more
that's what
uncomfortable.
I'm saying because that's how I realized, right? Maybe my face is just too serious because even the lecturer started like,
Yeah.
yeah, people are a bit, and she kept looking and looking at me because I didn't break eye contact whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
right, yeah, confidence, yeah, you need to look them in the eye. I didn't break eye contact, but like, I think I was just making it uncomfortable, you know what I
Maybe it was
mean?
too much. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was just a bit too much, you know? So maybe you shouldn't be looking someone in the eye all the time, but if you're having a small conversation, I'd say you should, you
Yeah.
know?
No, 100%. And
Shake
but the
a
thing
good
about it,
firm handshake and look at, yeah?
yeah, no, 100%. Firm handshake, look them in the eye and stuff like
Mm.
that. But then it's just, do you ever just see random people though, Wally? Random people are just not. They're just not like just look like if you're just observing, because I sit down and I just observe people, and these people, I'm just looking at them, I'm just like, these people are just like, it just looks so weird, like they're just, I don't
I,
know, not
I, I,
masculine or something.
I think it's there was this one thing. Oh, what was it? It's like a certain name that they put for. It's like when it's like a condition when you think everybody is watching you. Like there was this one little mini video that somebody made, like an animated joke, right? And let's just say you're walking down the street. You're
Mm,
walking, you're walking. In reality, nobody's looking at you. You know,
nobody.
I can't remember one face I walked past earlier, but when you have this certain condition, it's like it feels like everyone's just doing this to you all the time, watching
Yeah.
you, watching you, watching. See what I mean? That's what it feels like. And then they're walking, and then like they start to panic, and that's why you might. That's why they might just look at the ground or whatever because
Hmm.
they believe everybody's watching them. You
Yeah.
know.
But could that be everyone though, Wally?
I
Like that
think.
can't be
Well,
everyone.
it was
Because
me. It was another person. It was a good chunk of people because nobody just lacks confidence in a sense for just no reason. There was always something that brought it up, you know.
mm,
Either you said low testosterone or
depression.
depression, or there's so many things, or like yeah, there's like so many things that it could be. But in this generation now, I truly believe I think the reason why most people have low confidence it's because of pornography. I
Wow.
kid you not. I'm not joking with you. I think it's that because if you do semen retention in a sense, you will feel a lot more confidence, confident, stronger, everything. But the only, because you want to know what the scary thing about pornography is?
What?
It can, you can find it anywhere.
Mm,
I remember one time I was on Christian TikTok, right?
yeah.
And yet, the odd, maybe every one in every 20, 50 posts or whatever, you might see the odd naked person there or whatever. See what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's enough of a trigger.
Yeah.
It's enough of a trigger. And that's all guys are seeing right now.
Yeah.
All the time. So then they're like, wait a minute. Instead of me wasting money, time, effort, all this stuff, I can just do a couple of clicks and that's it.
Hmm.
And that's it. Instead of me going outside and going on a date with this person or going on a date with that person, you know, they
Mm,
don't they literally don't have to do any of that. All
mm.
they have to do is just online, and it's done. And that's the scary thing about it. And I think that's why a lot of people have such low confidence nowadays, or even there was this. I literally had to laugh. There's this one lad that I know, and we're now playing games, right? And then oh, you started college, did you? Yeah, I started college, yeah. Yeah. And he said, did you look any females in the eye yet? And it was just funny when he told me. I don't know why, because it was so random. But when he told me that, like, I think he was being desperately serious though. And
To
I thought
look
I was
any
kind of
females in the
it's
eye.
looking females in the eye, and I'm just like, man, but this is what all this stuff does to you.
Yeah, it really
And
does.
and see
Wow.
and see OnlyFans as well.
Yeah.
That stuff, it's like number one, if you're doing OnlyFans, you need to think right well what you're doing because once you do that, you better be careful having kids in the future. Because see, even Lana Rhodes,
Yeah.
people were saying that that baby is gonna have to be either 7 foot jacked or some scary person because
Yeah.
that kid is he wasn't even born and they were making fun of him,
Oh man.
you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying if you did all this, if you can't have kids, you can still have kids. I can't stop you. It's just that kid is going to have a difficult life, you
Mm.
know, from that, you
Yeah.
know, and
No, it's
and
true.
and that's why pornog. And even there's this even one Ted Bundy video
Yeah.
on YouTube. He said that what all serial killers have in common, that they were all deeply involved in pornography.
Heavily
E-
involved. Yeah.
Every single one of them.
All of them.
They were
Heavily
all
involved
involved,
in
and
pornography.
then that's how he said that's not why they were serial killers. No, 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 no. No. Everybody wants to do evil things. Just a lot more people have more strength than others. It's
Yeah.
just he said that was one of like
Trigger.
the main, yeah, main kind of triggers, main
Yeah.
just like a pretty much shared common interest between all of them.
Yeah.
All of them, either they were killers, rapists, thieves, whatever.
All of it. Yeah.
Big criminals. You know what I mean? They were all
Mm.
deeply involved in that stuff. You
Yeah.
know, and then when you
That's
think about it,
crazy.
and you might be thinking, oh, but it's not too bad. But right, think about it this way, right? Let's just say you watch one video one day. You're not gonna be able to watch the same video for the next 1 year. You won't be able to, you
Mm.
know. And that's why when you're heavily involved in it, it's very hard to either go get married or even be bothered with a girl in the first
Even look
place.
a girl in the eye, like that
Even,
guy
yeah,
said.
that's what I'm saying.
You can't
Even
even
look
look a
them in
girl
the
in the
eye,
eye.
you know, because you're seeing 100 different women all the time.
Yeah.
Now to even stay loyal to the one is going to be difficult for you,
Yeah. Because
very difficult.
you want what you
You
get in
know,
the videos.
that's what I'm saying. I've seen tens of very beautiful people in my lifetime. You know, see what I mean? You
Yeah.
see them all, but it's like in this life you have to choose one. But
Yeah.
the thing about pornography, it teaches you no, have them all.
Yeah.
You can have her Monday, her Tuesday, her Wednesday, her Thursday. See what I mean?
Yeah. You can have a
And I
different
think
one
that
each
I
day.
think that's the thing, and that's why I think a lot of times now there's very low confidence is because people are involved in it at such a young age,
Yeah.
and when even back in the day, they literally go to wars and do all of this stuff just to get married.
Yeah.
Now, and that's just to see a naked woman, but now a few clicks and it's there.
It's right there, right in front of
No
you.
effort needed, no nothing. And
Yeah.
imagine you're working at home as well.
Oh my
Imagine you're
gosh.
working from home. You're on an hour break. See what I mean?
Yeah. It's that
It's
easy.
just that easy. And it's like, do I blame these people? No, because it's just so easily accessible.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
easily
shown to
accessible.
you on every app.
And like you said, in the other episode, I think feminism that's
Yeah.
gotten to because no man wants to be single. None of them. It's just a lot of them tried, but a lot of these girls are listening to these gurus, these high up feminist people saying you don't need a man, or if he's not making 200K a year, scrap him, scrap him, scrap him. You know what I mean? And they're like, right, if I can't really go for anyone, or if none of them like me, I may as well just do this. You know,
Mm.
I may as well just do this. And it's like, so you can't really point the finger at anybody. You can't point the finger at women only, and you can't point the finger at men because they'd be like, yeah, but if men just didn't watch it, women wouldn't do it. And I'm like, yeah, but men are only watching it because women are doing it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like,
Yeah. But then again, like, to be honest, women wouldn't be doing it if men didn't give the demand. If there was no
that's
demand,
what I'm saying.
they wouldn't be doing it. So it's weak men's fault.
Mm.
You know, men are just getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And as a result of this pornography thing is actually like a pandemic because it doesn't matter what app you go to. You can try and avoid, yeah, seeing all of this rubbish as much as you want. Like you said, you were on Christian TikTok, but yet this would still be coming up on your feed. You go on Instagram. Now on Instagram, it's not even the stuff that you follow anymore that's coming up. Now they suggest things for you now. suggesting models and stuff like that popping up on your page. You're scrolling through something and you see a game, but then the person that's advertising the game is a porn star. How are you going to escape these things? Even on Twitch, that's for kids. They ban somebody for using bad language, but the first video on the Twitch thing that kids can see is a naked woman. Like, that's how you know these things were being targeted in every area. You'll see naked people all the time, everywhere. Your favorite YouTuber, what did they do? They had family friendly content before. What did they end up doing? Bringing porn stars on it. Then what do those people do when they see a beautiful woman? They look her up. Once they look her up and they see that she does explicit stuff on OnlyFans, you're gonna buy to see what it provides. And what are you gonna do after that? There you go. It just keeps continuing and continuing. You can't actually escape these things anymore. It's thrown into your face. You can try and avoid it as much as you want, but it's still being thrown in your face, and that's what creates weak men. Pornography creates weak,
The thing
weak,
is,
weak men.
and to even add on to that, it's not only pornography, it's in real life as well. Now, the difference between real life, right, is that people say, oh, but people can wear whatever they want, which they can. I can't stop them, you can, no one can stop them, right? But what I've seen outside, I've seen married people, married. And it's not as if the wives are ugly. The wives are very beautiful people. But when the wives aren't looking, just to, you know what I mean? Just a quick
Mm,
look because this girl over here has her ashes hanging out or this hang. You see what I mean? And it's
mm,
like he has eyes to see, but even though he has a wife and kids or whatever, it's still looking. You see what I mean?
yeah,
And because he's being and see and this is where the internet will just destroy you because there's nothing you can actually say to get the point across in a sense because
yeah. It's just like just control yourself.
just that's literally it. Just
Yeah,
control yourself. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
but then there was this one smart individual. He said, okay, right. If you want, right, pick one. You can keep dressing the way you want, but no man ever find you attractive ever again. They're like, no, I can't do that. So they want men to find them attractive, but only certain individuals.
yeah,
They don't want all of them, just the certain ones. See what I mean?
yeah.
That's
Just
why
certain ones.
that's why they dress like that in a sense, you know?
100%. Did you ever see that video of a man, a really ugly guy, said something to a girl, right? And no, 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 it was a picture. Sorry, it was a picture. Really ugly man said something to a girl, and she's just like, "Ew, oh my gosh, what a pedophile." But a really good-looking man, high value, quote unquote high value, said something to her. She was just like, "Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's flirting with me." You know, the exact same thing was said, but it's just how somebody looked that it was perceived differently. You didn't call the really good-looking guy a pedo, but you called the ugly guy a pedo. But they said the exact same thing. But the problem is that if he says something to you now, that's a problem. But if he says something to you now, it's not a problem. So it's a double standard. There's a double standard there. So you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I can't." You can't speak to women that way, but you'd accept it from a certain type of guy, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
A certain guy you'd accept that
Oh,
from,
and
but a
that's and
certain guy
and
you
the thing
wouldn't.
is not to even say that men are like the only ones taking that stuff back. Men do it as well. Like think about it. You get two girls and one guy there, right? One overweight girl will try to talk to this guy. He'd be like, "What the heck?" But then
Yeah,
another good-looking girl, he'll go on his hands and knees. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Go on his
yeah,
hands and knees to try and talk to her. You know,
yeah,
that's sort of like this is the same thing for men as well. You know, it's all how the individual looks at you in a sense. You know,
yeah. Yeah, it's also how the individual looks. Let's not
Mm.
sit here and act like looks don't play a major part in
Oh,
all
they
of this
play a
stuff,
big role in it. You know,
you know? Yeah, but going back into this anyway, testosterone is being killed when you watch porn. You know, the effect of porn is that your testosterone goes down, so that way it makes you lazy. It's actually, I'm pretty sure it gives you similar effects to smoking weed, to where you just don't want to do anything after that. Like you just feel lazy. And why is it that you always feel bad about yourself afterwards? You never feel good. Oh, okay, that was a good set. You never feel better afterwards. You always feel worse. You barely ever feel better after. You almost always feel much worse after. You're like, why did I even do that? You know, and that's another issue there. So then your testosterone's being shrunk, and that's why another thing, Wally. Did you know, like all these, when you go on YouTube or whatever, or when I'm listening to podcasts, and these podcasts, the demographics aren't past 30 years old. The demographic, like the listeners, the main listeners that listen to these podcasts, they're always advertising, um, like Viagra, Blue Chew,
Yeah.
Roman swipes. Do you ever realize that
Mm.
they're advertising all this stuff? Because I'm just like, wait a minute, your audience is between 20 and 30. Why do 20 or 30-year-olds need Viagra, Blue Chew, all of these things? Because they all have erectile dysfunctions. It's a real issue. Young men are actually having erectile dysfunctions at this age. They can't even get it up anymore, because there's not enough testosterone in them. Some people clinically can't because they have an issue in there, but pornography will make this happen. Like, it's crazy. Imagine, I was listening to one guy, I think his name was Sneaker or something like that. He said that he would have a 10 out of 10 in his room, right? And he couldn't get it up. A 10 out of 10 ready to go in the bed. He couldn't get it up. He had to go to the toilet, watch porn. Then he got hard, and then he was able to go into the room and do the business. But like, think about how crazy that is. He had to watch it on the phone to be able to get it up, rather than seeing it right there in front of him. That's a major, major issue with men of today. Pornography will
So
destroy you. It destroys marriages. It destroys your testosterone. It destroys your motivation at that. It kills your motivation. And when you said, like before, semen retention, I remember I did it before, and I documented the whole process. I did it for 8 months straight back when I was in college. More women were flirting with me. I was more confident. I had more clarity of mind. My mind was so clear. It was absolutely insane. So clear. I was absorbing all information, and I was working at a very high level. When you take all this stuff out, when I'm just not even, I didn't even think about anything. I was focused completely on my mission in that moment, and life was so smooth for me. And that's when I realized these things are actually just there to distract you and to make you weak.
mm. There was even this one guy. He's a Christian guy on TikTok. See when, because the scary thing about porn, see when people watch porn, they think, right, ground, but if I get married, it will stop. It won't, because with this
Hmm.
guy, yeah, um, he's already told his wife about it though, but he was an addict for like 10 years during his marriage. 10 years, no, so it was before his marriage, during his marriage. You see what I mean? For 10 years in
Yeah,
total, right? And then he finally told his wife, and then she like broke down in tears and all that stuff. Because think about it, like if you're telling your wife, "I'm looking at other naked women because she's not really a fan of you
yeah,
anymore," you know what I mean? I just don't really like the look of
yeah.
you anymore, and that is it, and that's the kind of dangerous part about it. It's just the fact that it's so how would you explain it? It's so precise, you know. If
Hmm.
you want a blonde girl one day, you have it there. You want a brunette the next day, you have it there. But when you're married, that's all you have, and that's
Yeah,
it. You know,
yeah,
you just have to accept her for the way it
yeah,
is. I'm not saying women can't get sucked into it as well, but it's mainly men who get sucked into it. You know,
yeah. It's catered towards men
is
now.
it's basically catered towards men because it's literally everywhere. Like
Yeah,
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You
everywhere.
can't run from it. Even
Nope.
if you're watching, even if you look at all your social media apps through Google, you'll still find it there. You
Yeah,
know,
straight up.
you can't run
Yep.
away from it. And if you think that's not enough, you walk out your door, you see half naked people walking around. You're like, right? What, like,
Yep.
and like, think about, they're like, oh, but you just shouldn't look. What am I supposed to do when you're walking past? Be looking at the
No,
sky,
these people, when people
you
say
know?
that stuff, it just doesn't make any
It
sense. Because
makes
I
no
remember when
sense.
I went to 50 Cent, right? And when I was at that concert, Wally, you don't understand. Wally, there was a girl that was wearing just a fishnet top, no bra, nothing underneath. How can somebody not look? Tell me that. How can you not look?
I don't know how you could leave your house like that. Realistically,
That doesn't make sense. Like, how did her father let her leave the house that way? It's either her father's not around or he doesn't care about his kid.
mm,
Or she just dressed a certain way leaving the house, and then when she got to her friend's house, she wore what she was supposed to wear. But even then, how could her friend's parents see her like that? Like that. Anyway, I'm just making stuff up. But at the end of the day, that's a major thing. Now,
Mm.
another thing to it, pornography also would lead to depression. That's one of the main, not main, but it's a major thing of depression. When people are depressed, pornography is like your like release to get you to feel something, because you said earlier in the first episode, no, the second episode, that when you were depressed, you ran because you just wanted to feel something. Pornography makes you want to feel something at the end, and that's the climax, right? You want to feel something, but it's after the climax. That's when the depression hits afterward, when it goes back to the feeling of nothingness. You know, that empty feeling comes back again because pornography doesn't do anything for you. So let's talk about depression now, right? And the main things of depression. One of the main things that I've seen for depression is financial issues. Financial stress is a leading cause, right? Because in Ireland right now, just to stay on topic anyway, I'll stay on topic and then we'll branch out to to how it affects Ireland as a whole. Pornography will actually make your depression worse. If somebody's depressed and they watch porn, it's going to make you worse. It's not going to make you better. Porn doesn't do actually, it has no benefits. It has zero benefit. Find me one benefit of pornography. There's none. I can give you a list of 100 bad things though, how it'll affect you and ruin your life. You know, when you're depressed, pornography is just to feel something. Just like serial killers, they're psychopaths. They don't have any feeling, so they do these things to try and feel
But
something. You
That
know?
you never actually mentioned that. I don't think I've ever looked at it in that sense. Because see the way people hate serial killers and all that so much.
Yeah.
It's like in their own head, they can't feel anything.
Nothing.
So if they're doing something and they even if they wanted to feel remorse, they just can't
They
feel
can't.
it. Like I'm not saying could you really hate a person like that, you know? What they're doing is very bad. I can understand that, but they can't feel a thing.
Yeah.
They
Not all
can't,
psychopaths are killers
you
either, by the
know?
way. You know, you get psychopaths, like a lot of them are CEOs. A lot of them are just people that you
Oh,
might just work with on a regular basis that
investment
are just
bankers.
around, you know, that are just around you, but you don't know, and they don't even know that they're serious psychopaths. But the thing about them, right, the reason why I don't feel sorry for them is because they think they're better than everyone, right?
Mm.
Because they don't feel anything, they're just like, look at you humans, you're so weak because you feel sad over something like that. You feel this over something like that. I can't feel anything. I'm bulletproof. Look at me, you know. So they manipulate people then, right? They manipulate and do whatever they can to have their way with you. But at the end of the day, they can't feel anything. So that's why they do these things. That's why they do the manipulation game to feel something. That's why they do these things to, you know, A, B, C, and D, because they don't feel anything. But the thing that they can feel is the excitement of maybe planning how they're going to,
Destroy
you know,
them.
destroy you in the workplace. You
Mm.
know, to be able to scale up in a workplace and destroy everybody that's behind them. That is the only thing that they can actually feel, right? So when people are depressed as well, they can't feel anything. So when you're depressed, it's almost a bit of like a thing of psychopathy, right? You might even be a little bit of a psychopath because you don't feel anything in life. You don't feel anything. No excitement, no zeal for anything. So maybe that's the one common trait that both of you have, you know? But pornography is the common theme there as well because that lets you feel something for a couple of minutes. When you're going, then you stop. When you're just about to finish, then you stop. You know, that excitement to where like, oh, I stopped myself right before we get to the end. And then you go again. You stop right before again. And then you get to the end goal and you're like, wow, you know, and then you finally hit that climax in the end. And then as soon as that's done, the emptiness comes back again. All that emptiness just comes right back and you're actually worse off than where you were even when you started. You feel worse about yourself than you did at the beginning, you know? And that's the common thing that I've seen with depression, pornography. Pornography makes everything worse, every area of life,
Mm.
every area. So going back into that, another thing for depression, right, that I've been seeing is financial stress,
That's
right?
actually huge. You even see that in Japan as well.
massive,
Japan as well,
massive.
a lot. And there was
You know.
actually, because even like people would be like hanging themselves, jumping off bridges because
Yeah.
they're working morning till night, probably Monday through Saturday,
Yeah.
probably Monday through Sunday. Work,
Yeah.
work, 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 all the time, and they just get fed up. And there was this other one video, like I was so sad watching it. There was this one Japanese girl in it, and it's like there's this place in Japan where pretty much loners go to sit in an empty room by themselves. So they go straight from the house, straight to this room. They might eat some food or whatever, and they just sit there in a box.
That's absolutely like
And
crazy to
I'm
me,
just
man.
like, what on earth? Like
Yeah.
in Japan, the loneliness is that bad.
Yeah.
People
That
go
there's areas for you to go.
for loners, like an empty room for a loner, just to go by themselves. You know,
Can't believe that, man. Like
you know.
like depression is like it's a real thing, right? But like you defeated it, and like other people are defeating it, right? Not everybody is clinically depressed, you
See,
know.
I see like the difference is I don't really understand the difference between clinically, not so clinically. In my head,
Yeah.
if you're depressed, you're depressed. But if you're a person who's overweight, eats just junk food all the time, and you say you're depressed, well, it's probably because you're eating a bunch of junk food all the time and you're being
Yeah.
lazy. You know, I can guarantee if you lost some weight now and you continue training, you wouldn't be as depressed as you are. You know,
Yeah.
you just wouldn't be.
You just
But
feel better about yourself.
I think the scariest kind of depression any human could ever possibly be in is being rich and sad. Because when
Yeah.
you're rich and you're still sad, what excuse do you have left? Because
Yeah.
I still have an excuse. I'm
Yeah.
broke. I'm a student. I'm broke. You know what I mean? I still
Yeah.
have an excuse. But
Yeah.
if I have, and think about it, right? If I have the most beautiful wife in the world, most beautiful kids, and big house, nice cars, deadly job, and yet I still want to shoot my brains out every day.
Yeah.
That's the worst one you can be in because
Yeah. That's
a
terrifying.
a you can't run to anyone.
Yeah.
But you're so rich and your wife is so good looking, blah 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 blah. You have
You
no
have a
right.
perfect life.
You have
How
a
dare
perfect
you
life.
even
How dare
say
you
that
say?
you're
And you'd be
depressed?
like,
What could you be sad about?
see what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting you. And then that's what you say. So you say that to one person, they abuse you with all that. Say like, "Oh, grand." Now I can't tell anyone that I'm sad. You have to keep it bubbled
Yeah.
in within yourself. Bubbled in, bubbled in, bubbled in. Your wife is like, oh, how was work today? Oh, it was brilliant. Blah, blah, blah. The next day she gets a call. Your husband killed himself.
Yeah.
Like, and then everyone's like, wait, let's just say Peter.
Confusion.
Peter or John Joe, whatever.
Yeah.
Killed himself. How did he kill himself? Like, what? He was so happy. He was so.
Yeah.
See what I mean? But
The
they did.
confusion.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But they didn't know that this guy was just like, you know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
sort of depression I think is the worst kind. Is when you have
Yeah.
nothing to complain about, you know?
Yeah.
Because when you've nothing to complain about, you can't run to anyone for help because they'll be
Yeah.
like, because you your perfect life and you're so much
Yeah.
better than I am. Give me your life or blah blah blah. You
Yeah.
know?
I'd be happy with even a fifth of what you
Do you know what I
have.
mean?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
sort of scary stuff.
Like that. Nah, that is scary. And in those instances there, help is needed. Help is needed because you can afford every drug there is. You can afford all the best alcohol, all the best escorts, all that stuff. You can afford the top of everything. So that would just make it worse because all you do is just indulge, 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 and live a hedonistic life.
It's it the
Hedonistic
only
means that you're looking for pleasure with little pain, you know
I
maximum pleasure, least discomfort,
mm,
and it's crazy, you know. But financial issues is definitely one of the major things that people go through, especially that I've seen in Ireland. A lot of people struggle because the yearly salary, I think it might be 28,000 euros, right, or less. I think it actually might be like 24,000 euros on
peanuts.
average. you know. And at the end of the day, if you make 24,000 euros a year and you want to get a mortgage, you literally can't get a mortgage.
Yeah,
Doesn't
caravan.
matter where you live. Yeah, like you literally cannot buy a home because you can only get approved for like what?
2.5 times your
What
salary,
what
is it?
what, what? what would that be? 20, let's say 24,000,
Let's
yeah?
just say about 75 grand. I'd say.
24,000, multiply that by 3.5, because that's the mortgage that you can get. You can only get 84,000 euros in a mortgage from the bank when you make 24,000 a year. How is anybody going to afford to live making that? Because at the end of the day, 24,000, you'd need 8,400 down payment. So you'd need to save a third of everything you make. A third of it goes into saving for the down payment if you can even get 84k. But where can you even buy a property? Even in the crack ass of nowhere in Ireland, you can't even buy something for 84k. You know, it's so difficult, and that's why a lot of people are leaving the country. I saw a
Mm.
burger shop the other day advertised that one of its locations were closed, and it was the only reason why was because they couldn't get any staff, because the staff just couldn't afford to live around and work there, because their rent, all the money would be gone on rent. At the end of the day, you're working for nothing. You're working to basically to just give yourself something to do, because the money that you're getting is gone on rent, because
Rent.
it goes up more each year. Yeah, food is expensive, especially in Dublin. Food's expensive, life is expensive, transport's expensive, everything is expensive in life. Everything is Nothing is cheap, so you can't actually do anything with the money that you're getting. 24,000 in Dublin, how are you going to do anything? You'll have to share a room, fine, you know, share a room, save up, but then you'll have to get married. That's the only way. And the average price, right? Now just imagine the average salary, 24,000. You can only get approved of 84k, right? The average selling price of a property in Dublin this year is 500k on average.
A
That
million
is
euros.
half a million euros to buy a house. So as you can see, there's literally a 416,000 euro difference in the average price of a house versus the average salary that you can actually get. 416,000 in the difference. How is anybody going to do that? Even if you married somebody, you'd need to be making combined 142,000 euros a year in order to be able to afford a mortgage. That's the average of Dublin. Obviously, you'll get houses that are below that, and obviously, you'll get houses that are above that. But when it all evens out and you take the average, 500k is the average. Dublin's getting a more expensive place. People are leaving the country. Financial stress is a leading cause of depression, and it makes people just unmotivated to do anything, because it almost seems like you're in like a rat race. Literally, you're working to just get nowhere. Why wouldn't you be depressed? Because all your efforts are going nowhere. All the money that you're trying to make, you're trying to hustle, you're trying to, provide a better life for yourself, all the money's just gone. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? It's so difficult, man.
And see, because I'll be honest with you. Other than going to college or going to get an apprenticeship or moving country, there's not really much else you can do.
There's
You
nothing.
know, like we
That's the scary part.
we have hit a stage now where we are probably going to be the last generation to live a somewhat semi-normal life. Like when all of us start having kids, they are not going to have a normal life. I even seen this one thing. It was absolutely rotten. It was this one teacher. They tried to sack him
Hmm.
because, or they sacked him. I'm not too sure because he didn't want to call a guy a girl, this transgender or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you're a man. Your name
Hmm.
is such and such. No,
Hmm.
I'm a woman. No, you're not.
Hmm.
And he stood by his word and they were like, no, you called that man a woman.
Oh, that happened in
No!
Ireland.
Yeah,
That was
well,
a lit
yeah.
student.
That happened in Ireland, yeah, and then they sacked him for it. You know?
Yeah.
Think of it. A man dressing
Yeah.
up as a woman and you expect me to call you, you're not a woman. I would not
Yeah.
trust you in a dressing room with women. No!
Yeah.
You have a bigger beard than me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just doesn't make any sense. All this transgender nonsense.
It's
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 just
confusion at the highest level, and at the end of the day, that's what the
delusion,
devil.
you
That's what
know.
the devil. That's his plan, is to come in and confuse everybody and make everybody confused and you know not and with no direction. No one knows where they're going. People are just making things up, right?
Mm.
When you make things up and you make up how you feel and stuff like that, not anything solid. Everything is fluid. Yeah, that like society is going to be doomed because now everything goes based off how you feel. Listen, it doesn't matter how you feel. You still need to come to work. I'm not really in the mood to work today. Lazy. I'm not really in the mood to work today. And then you don't go to work. Okay, now your bills aren't going to be paid. A, B, C, and D.
Get up,
People don't
sluggard.
take responsibility. But yeah, yeah. What's that proverb called again?
Oh, I have it here. I don't know.
Yeah. Get up, you lazy sluggard, before
A, li-
poverty.
a little sleep, a little slumber, a little
Oh.
folding of the arms until poverty catches up to you like a thief in the night or something like that.
Oh my goodness gracious. A little
Um,
sleep, a little slumber. It says that in Proverbs. In the Bible, it literally says that. A little sleep, a little slumber, while you fold your arms under the palm tree, while, poverty comes and strikes you like a thief in the night.
it's
Laziness will kill you. Laziness
Proverbs
is
6:9. So it pretty much goes yeah. So how long will you lay there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty
oh
will
man.
come on you like a bandit and scarcity like an armed man. You
Yeah.
know,
That's just
and that's basically like that's for us, like our generation. God's not saying not to work. No, this is even what our own dad doesn't understand about Africa because they'd be in that church Monday through Sunday without
yeah.
working.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You
Yeah.
need to go
Works
make
without faith without works is dead.
you need to go make some money for yourself and buy some food. God's not just
Yeah.
gonna go throw money and food out of the sky. He's not gonna do that for
Yeah.
you. Because
Faith
if you
faith
did,
without works is
you
dead.
know what I mean. You have to go out and work. You
Yeah.
do your hours. You clock in your hours. You know.
Yeah, keep hammer. You have to hammer away, and get these things done.
And
At
that's
the
the
end of the
sort of part.
day.
Like even I even forgot to tell you that. When I was at work, I was in the elevator, right, and I was
Yeah,
looking at the mirror, and I was like, this isn't just for this job. This is just see work in general. I
yeah,
was just like, right, you know what? I actually hate work. I
yeah,
hate work, but I will tolerate other ones more than others because if I hate two jobs, but this
yeah,
job pays me 70K and this job pays me 20K, well, you know what? I'll pick the 70K one because I hate the both of them anyway, but one pays more, you know?
yeah,
And,
hundred
and
percent.
that's when I came to the conclusion. I think everybody hates work.
Yeah,
Everyone. No matter who you see. Actors, singers, engineers, they all hate it. You know, they don't want to be there. They're just only there to get paid, and that's it. You know,
yeah,
even football players, I can guarantee they're bored out of their mind with football now.
mm,
Bored. They're only doing it to get paid, and that's it. You know.
mm. Who knows? See, people can be different. Some
Mm.
people love their jobs.
Oh no, some people
Like,
fair enough. Some people love their jobs.
you know,
You know.
some people are just there because they're just there. I
Mm.
can't even say footballers would be bored out of their mind because they get to do what they love. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
If you played football from when you were a
But
kid and you
like
managed to,
how
it's
long?
repetitive.
That's what I'm saying. How long can you do something you loved so much all the time, and you're being told what
Business
to do?
owners, man. Business owners. I think people that have a bit of freedom to where, yeah, you're a business owner, there's more stress on your plate, all that stuff, but I feel like you're more fulfilled than somebody that just works a job. I
Oh
just
yeah,
do. I just feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're more fulfilled because because they own the business or they make the executive decisions and stuff like that. Like you'd be more fulfilled in my opinion, you know? And that's when you just realize like, work is it's a necessary thing because if nobody works, then how's society ever going to grow?
Kind of crumble.
Yeah, exactly. So, people are just needed to work.
Isn't
Not
that
everybody
weird?
can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can
Oh
be the
yeah.
CEO.
Mm. Like
Everybody wants to be the CEO, but not everyone is equipped to handle it because it might just seem like it's all
a
glorious,
lot
but
of
it's not
stress,
that easy. It's
you
not that
know.
easy.
That's what even one person said. They said people have a lot of like wishful thinking, you
Yeah,
know, and that's not what entrepreneurship like. You don't know the amount of businesses that we just don't know the businesses that failed. Well, probably
yeah.
millions of businesses failed, and like a couple of hundred actually succeeded.
Mm,
That's probably like less than 1% of businesses
yeah.
succeeding, and then the rest of them,
One in 11 businesses fail.
you know.
1 in 11. No, sorry. Yeah. 1 in 11 businesses fail. No, 1 in 11 businesses succeed. Sorry.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a good business, if you want to have five good businesses, you need to be ready to fail 55 times or 50 times in order to get five good businesses. That's 55 attempts at business in order to get five good ones that work.
Mm.
If you go based off the stats, 10 in 11 businesses fail, 1 in 11 succeed. So at the end of the day, that's just the thing. But most people want to they want their first business to succeed. Some people get, blessed where their first business can succeed. But if you do one thing long enough, one thing specific, and master it for the next 10, 20 years, that's the thing there. Like it's almost impossible for you not to be successful in it. If you dedicate yourself to anything for 10, 20 years, it's almost impossible for you
Yeah,
not to
that's
succeed.
that is almost like someone even like there's this one module. This is one module in my course. It's in contract administration.
Mm,
You can get a good job just from that module alone,
mm,
just from contracts. Or if you went if you went elsewhere, like if you did like AutoCAD or BIM or something like that, if you
mm.
became so good at them, like so good, like you know everything from it,
Yeah. People
it's
will be
like
fighting you all over the world.
that's what I'm saying. You be wanted everywhere. Yeah, it's only one thing, but you're not like versatile like everyone else. But at least now you have some sort of value in a sense. You know what I mean?
Specialized for a
Exactly.
specific thing.
And
Yeah.
you can even train people into it. There's another source of
100%.
income. You know,
100%.
do online training
Like,
classes
and
for.
that's when people say the riches are in the niches.
Mm-hmm.
If you do something very niche, very specific, that's where the riches can be because you're serving one specific type of person. And then if you're the best at that, you can charge whatever you want. And that's why I just think business owners are just a lot more. Let me not say happier, but I just think that they're more fulfilled in my opinion.
Mm.
you know. But at the end of the day, people do also get fulfilled in starting families and stuff like that. Like people get fulfilled in different ways. But I think career wise, I think it's business owners that are more the most fulfilled. So another thing that I was thinking was because these property prices now in Ireland are just so extraordinary, crazy. It's almost a thing of like why like people are leaving and people are just like but nobody's people are leaving to go and get money to come back to Ireland to buy a house here. But the houses that are available right now, like have you seen the backyards? Like you don't even get any land with the house anymore.
Hey,
It's
put a
very
dog
difficult to
around
get
there.
yeah, like you can't even get land with the houses anymore. So it's like and even in farmland. And another thing I realized, sorry, I'm going off topic here. Inheritance tax is 33%. So if you pass down your house to your kid needs to pay 33% of the value of that asset. I spoke to someone at work, right? His dad's a farmer. He has over 100 acres of land, and he has loads of cows, right? Because he's a cow farmer, but over 100 acres of land. When he passes that down now to his kid, they have to pay 33% in tax. But let's just say that because it's a farm, and it doesn't generate that on a yearly basis. Let's say it generates 100 grand, but it's worth 100 acres. Let's say it's worth 5 million or 6 million quid. You know, 33% of that would be like 1.5 million.
Wait, So,
Who's who
so,
has 1.5 million to
could,
pay the
could,
government?
so instead of them selling it, so do they have to pay that regardless of whether they keep the land or not? Or
They have to pay that inheritance tax to the government. Yeah. Now think
like,
about it, right?
so then
Think
would
about
the
it.
parent not be better off just selling all of it and then just distributing the money then beforehand
But
happens.
why would you say? But that's what I'm saying. You want to give something to your kids, and that's what parents want to leave their house or something like that. Leave an asset so their kid can continue to grow the asset and get more, so then they can give more to their kids. That's kind of how the principle goes, right?
All right,
But
yeah.
but now it seems that like you can't even leave the house for your kid anymore because that house that you were going to leave for your kid, right? They then need to pay 33% on that. So how are you going to pay the 33% if you don't have it in cash? You have to pay that value to the government in cash, though. They want their money.
Mm.
They probably won't agree no in installments or nothing like that. They want their money. So what you're gonna have to do, sell it to get the money to give them. But what happens then? They end up buying the land. So before they have a full monopoly of everything, all assets, all apartment blocks, all single family homes. They own
See,
everything and you're reliant on them.
and like the scary thing is about this, right? If you took, see, this is
This is
why
one generation away, Wally.
see
This is
this
our kids that
see
are gonna
this
have to
is
go
why the
through this.
government they piss me off because it's like the lies to be spewing through their teeth. Like we know what you're doing. Like why are you pretending as if like we don't need you to explain it in the English language for us. We can see what you're doing. Like every time I go onto the internet, right, I'm seeing social welfare getting this, social welfare getting that. So like you get more money on social welfare than you would in a minimum wage job.
Yeah,
So they're pretty much trying to push everybody, pretty much, like not everyone, but most people onto social welfare or whatever. Push
yeah,
them onto
yeah.
that. Rely on us. We're good, and then everyone starts doing a boom, 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 boom.
We'll provide for you.
You know what I mean?
You don't need
And
to work.
and
You don't need to do
you know what I
anything.
mean? And it just doesn't make any sense because why aren't it like how is that even fair? Like I was even checking Irish tax there earlier on, right? If you made £1 million in Ireland, you're paying 506,000 in tax.
Yeah,
The government are taking more in tax than you're bringing home.
yeah.
How is that fair? I do not know.
No, you
And
think that's crazy. You think that's crazy. Listen to this. You, I'm paying you 100K salary tomorrow.
mm,
100,000 euro salary you're getting. Guess how much that is per month? You're getting after tax.
after tax,
After tax each month, how much do you
right?
think you're
So
getting?
before tax, it'd be about 1,900 and something. So I'd say
No,
after
a
tax,
100 grand salary, 100 grand salary.
a month.
I'm saying, how much would you get a month if I give you 100,000 euro salary per year?
Yeah, no, because like 100 grand into the whole year would be about 2 grand each week, each each week. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, it'd be about 2 grand each week, and then let's just say after tax, you'd be probably coming home at about 1,006, 1,004 each week.
yeah,
Tax will probably take a good 600 euros every single week, and a tax
yeah,
back, you might get 200 of that each week back
yeah.
if
What
you're
you
lucky.
get, what you're making in a month is 5 grand. You're making 100,000 euro salary today. You're only taking home 5,000 a month. How crazy is that?
Tax
So,
just
so
absolutely.
you're only taking home 60 grand in the year. 60 grand is all you're taking home.
The government just swoops the
40,000. A
40,000 off.
salary is being taken, a whole full salary is taken out of your money each month.
Got a
I
little bit.
understand. I'm not against paying tax, right? But if your tax is being that much of it is being deducted from your money, it almost gets you wondering, like, why am I even working so hard? It almost seems that, like, as an employee, you can't actually make any real gains. Employers, they're the ones that are kind of winning in the game, in my opinion, because they can get write-offs, all that stuff, write-offs. They can write this off. They can take out loans against assets, all of that stuff. The game isn't designed for the workers. You know, it's not designed for the people in the rat race. It's designed for employees and entrepreneurs. I mean, employers and entrepreneurs. People that are willing to create something and add value to people's lives. They're the ones that get the benefits of, the write-offs, the deductions, all of that stuff when they hire these accountants and stuff like that to do the books for them. Like, that's what I've seen.
Mm.
Like, the
They,
last
they,
company I
they
was
get
working
right
for,
off
everybody
tea
had a
and
brand new
coffee,
car.
biscuits, lunch.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
new iPhones, office the equipment, everything. You know,
and that's it's just mad.
or
Like, I've been really liking the idea of just getting a big farm in like a rural country and just living out my days there, you know.
mm,
Because trying to do anything in this island, like if I owned, like imagine, like, look at this. Let me just show you what 35 grand can buy you in middle Portugal, right? This is just, let me try to find it. Add. I'll share my screen in a second. You know, uh, share your screen. Can you see that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, oops.
2 acre mountain for sale, central Portugal.
There we go. Can you still see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, let me.
Orange trees there.
Orange trees, little pond. Wait, there's a. Oh, there. Look. Look at all that.
35K.
Look at all that. Look at all
Damn.
that land you get. That's 35,000 euros. All that land for 35,000 euros. Like, I just don't see how somebody could just build a big house there and just live out your days there, because it just doesn't make sense. Because in Ireland, think about what 35,000 euros would get you. A car.
It will literally get a Volkswagen T-Rock.
It'll get you a car.
You know what I mean?
It's backwards. But you can literally own 2 hectares of land for the same price as a T-Rock car. I just think our priorities just aren't our priorities aren't straight. You know, like I always watch his videos and stuff like that. And I'm just like, it just seems so interesting to me. You can have a lot more. You can do a lot more on your land as well. Like you can grow your own food. You have a pond on the land, like a pond. It even has electricity lines running to it and water lines running to it, so you can
Mm.
literally build a house if you just got planning permission and stuff like that. You know, but like
That's
crazy.
another thing I don't understand. I was supposed to even ask my lecturer that how nonsense planning permission really is. I need to go buy land and ask you, can I build on my own land?
Yeah, yeah. And not only that, the thing about the planning permission, right,
Man's been
is that
notices and all of this stuff. It's
yeah,
oh
if
my.
you don't, but that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is if you live on land, right, and let's say I grew up in Dunleer, but I want to buy land in Drogheda and build a house in Drogheda. Okay. If I haven't lived in Drogheda the last 10 years, I can't buy land and build a house on the land because it's called something called local needs. So you need to be a local of that area in order to get planning permission to build on the yard. And even if you're from that local area, you might not even get the planning permission anyway. But for you to move to Drogheda and try and build a house there, it is impossible for you to get planning permission for that region unless you've lived there for 10 years. Ireland just looks for ways all the time to just mess things up for everybody. So I couldn't even just move to County Clare or something like
That's
that and
what I'm
build a
saying.
house
That's
there.
that's actually something so true about Ireland. Do you even see the tolls as well? Ireland don't actually own the tolls. It's like
No.
America who owns the tolls, and even
Yeah, I
and,
think it's
and
actually Germany.
oh yeah, Germany, America, something like that, and even the tolls as well. We sold the gas in Ireland for
Yeah.
like I think it was like 1 billion. We bought it back for 10 billion, or it was
Yeah.
some weird number like that. But think about it, right?
Yeah.
You sell the natural gas in Ireland for you to use that for the Irish people. No, you sell
No.
it onto another company and you buy
And
it
buy it
back for
back.
10 times the price.
Yeah. It's
And
because
then
like they'll say it's because we don't have the infrastructure to do it. Okay, then develop the infrastructure.
you have the gas, sell the gas, use that money and build with it.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
like this is how I know these people are truly when you know a truly wicked person, like a wicked, like you said earlier, with these like psychopaths, like a truly wicked person is if someone wants to be doing bad stuff, but they're not harming anyone, they're
Yeah.
not harming anyone else, right? I wouldn't recommend you do it, but you're not harming anyone at least. These people, they're like, no, if I'm going to suffer, I'm going to make this whole country feel my wrath also,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, like even for the likes of Bill Gates, he's buying up all the land in America.
Yeah, it's
Why the
mad.
heck does a tech nerd need to be buying all the land up in America?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah. They're buying up
What
all
bit?
the
You're an
land.
old man. What the heck do you need all this
That's what
land
I'm
for?
saying. And they're only buying more. And before you know it, like the governments are buying all the land. These people are buying up all the land and all of the single family homes, and they're buying up everything. They're trying to push you onto the metaverse so then you can stay on the metaverse while they, on the other hand, start buying up everything as a result. You hand it down to your kids. You can't afford, your kids can't don't have the money in order to pay off the inheritance on it. They need to sell it to pay you the inheritance. Now you buy that, now you own that, right? And then their kids come, they need to sell it again to give you that 33% again. And before you know it, in two generations, they own the full asset now. The government own everything. They own the full asset unless we need to find ways in
That's why I
order
said, like
to
if you
avoid
work,
it.
if you're a politician or you work in some sort of government place, you need to be one slimy individual. And I never really use that word slimy much, but you need to be very slimy. Like
Mm,
I mean, you need to be backstabbing your best friend, your own wife, or your own parents to get into them positions.
yeah.
You know, you don't just accidentally. Yeah, of course, you need to become a Freemason first, but after that, you don't just stumble across these certain opportunities. No, you need to do some slimy
Yeah,
work. You know what
it's
I mean?
fact, and
In
it's
order to
and the
get there.
maddest part is that these people come in with like, I really want to make change happen. They come in with really good intentions, but then they realize how corrupt things are, and it's either you play the game, so you beat. It's either
Oh yeah, kicked
if
out.
you can't beat us, you have to join us, and the only thing they can do is to join. You have to put their morals
Mm.
aside, and that's just the nature of the beast.
That's what's actually even like if you don't join them, they'll end up doing something because there's even this one movie, Prison
Yeah.
Break. There was this one guy in it, right, and this other guy, both of them with Secret Service for America,
Hmm.
and then he started realizing his partner he's getting out of hand now because the Secret Service stuff is starting to get to his head. And then his friend is kind of like, right, this guy is getting too crazy now. I do not want any part of this. He grabs his family, gets into the car, tries to run away. His friend comes and he kills him.
Mm.
But his best friend ended up killing him, but it haunted him for the rest of his life because the Secret Service kind of got all into his brain, if you know what
Yeah,
I
you
mean.
can't have a choice. Yeah, you have to do it.
You know what I mean? It got so much into his brain. But this guy just like, you know what? No, I can't be doing like do I like just randomly killing. Like he said, I can't keep doing this the rest of my life.
Yeah,
No, and he tried to bounce, and then like you just said,
that's literally it.
if you
Like,
can't join them, you know what I mean. They're going to be against you, and they're going to destroy you. You know what I mean.
exactly.
It's the same with even people dealing drugs or whatever. You know,
Mm.
if you don't end up joining them, they'll either kill you or beat you up
Yeah,
or whatever. You
you
know.
can't escape. But yeah,
Mm.
I think that's fairly. We covered a good bit of topics on that note. We talked about the farmland and stuff. We talked about all this other stuff. I'm still thinking about that farmland. 35 grand, like imagine,
But
imagine.
like
God,
I like if I went there, I'd probably hire a farmer
mm,
like a Portuguese farmer, right?
mm,
I hire a Portuguese farmer and I hire probably grab like a Japanese chef or something like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Japanese just to come with me.
mm.
So he be doing the farm work. He be making me my Japanese food. Get a bit of Texas barbecue as well. You know what I mean? Just be living my life out there. You
Yeah,
know.
100%. Man. The peace you would have out there, the peace and
That's what I'm
serenity.
saying because when you really think about abroad, like there's not there's see and what confuses me about this world, right? All the countries that have all the natural resources, Africa, um, India, all of them other places, they have all the natural resources. England have nothing. Ireland have nothing. America has zilch,
Yeah,
but yet they're the richest and they're the poorest.
yeah,
They came in, they slaughtered them, they threatened
yeah.
them, and then they claim everything and bring it back over,
Yeah,
you know. But I don't also blame. I blame the African officials as well. I blame them also
yeah. No, they should definitely
because
get the blame.
because they're the ones selling it their own people
Hmm.
just for a quick buck, just for a quick buck themselves.
That's it.
Think
Like,
about it. Africa has all the gold, has all the diamonds, has everything. England what? Has spuds. You know what I mean? has nothing. You know?
yeah.
Oh man.
No, sure, that's literally yeah. But living in the countryside is becoming more and more appealing to me every day,
Mm.
especially seeing how these things are just happening in the world right now. You know, like you couldn't even buy something
Disappear
like
off
that
the
in
radar.
Ireland. Like you couldn't even buy something like that and get planning permission in Ireland. You can just do that.
That's even if the farm would sell it to you. If he knew you were black, he wouldn't give it to you.
Yeah, you know,
You know?
like yeah, yeah. So that's really it. So like 2 hectares, that's four. That's the 5 acres of land for 35
5 acres.
grand. Five
And
acres.
I seen what I think I seen like what 1 acre looks like, and it was fairly
Yeah,
big. You know?
it's crazy. But yeah. Anyway, thank you lot for listening. Yeah, much appreciated. You lot have a good week. Stay blessed. Have a good weekend, and yeah, we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.